Hello Ride-On people. So I've had this Arai XD4 Adventure Helmet for about 6 months now and about 5,000 road miles. So I thought it's about time I give a brief kind of update on my thoughts on it. And in terms of manufacturer, I really genuinely think Arai are simply the best in terms of protection, and I've been very pleased with this helmet so far. It's very comfortable, it looks really cool, and with the dark visor that I fitted to it, it blocks out the sun very well. And overall, I'm very pleased with the fit and finish and comfort of this helmet. But to give you a little bit more kind of a rating on this particular helmet, let's look at some specifics. In terms of airflow, I give this helmet a 6. It's not the best really. Although it has exhaust ports at the back for venting air, and it has brow inserts in the visor, face shield itself, and of course it has mouth vents. They're not the largest, any of them, by any stretch of the imagination, and in a hot climate such as where I live in Georgia in the summertime, it can get very hot and stifling inside the helmet. So just a 6 in terms of cooling airflow, and in terms of airflow on the move, it's not too bad. It's not the quietest helmet at highway speeds, and you don't get too much deflection from the peak fitted to if you wear it with the peak fitted. So but overall about a 6. In terms of fit, I have to say I'm delighted. It was a bit of a tight fit when I got it, and like all Arais, they seem to be like putting your head in a circular goldfish bowl. It's a very tight aperture to get your head through, and then your head kind of pops into place. And it took a couple hundred miles at least to bed it in nicely, but particularly after about 1,000 miles, it really fitted like a glove and really had equidistant pressure everywhere. So overall, very pleased with the fit. In terms of the visor, I never use the standard clear visor. It's too sunny in south of North America in the summertime, so I fitted the official Arai aftermarket visor. It's very dark. In fact, it's probably some kind of race visor because it looks too dark to be legal. But in the bright sunshine that we receive here for 5 or 6 months of the year at least, it's really beneficial, and I really like the visor, so I'm going to give that an 8. In terms of comfort, it's a definite 8 as well. As I say, there's no kind of jarring pressure points around the helmet at all. I don't feel too much pressure on my ears or my forehead or the back of my head. And although it's not the lightest adventure helmet, particularly for non-modulars, it's really quite a heavy helmet in some ways. I don't find it particularly tiring to wear all day long, and so I'm going to give the comfort an 8 as well. In terms of the chin strap, it's a D chin strap. I think Arai were the first to have a D chin strap, and there's no doubt about it. They are, once done up tightly, there's nothing going to slack off or loosen off. They're not the easiest things to put on or take off with a gloved hand, but without gloves on, they're pretty easy to get on and off. And in terms of skin contact with the chin strap, it's comfortable, so I'm going to give that an 8 as well. In terms of peripheral vision, it's not bad at all, actually. I have to give that an 8 as well. It's better than most helmets in that respect. I don't have any problems spotting traffic coming up on me from the left or right hand side particularly. In terms of finish, has to be a 9. The quality of finish on Arai helmets is quite astounding really. It's incredibly professional, and there seems to be plenty of clear coat on top of the the paintwork. And on this particular helmet, there's sort of sparkly colours, and moving from black to white to red, and really smooth coats of clear on top, and it really feels quality, like you've had a helmet custom sprayed. And of course, in terms of finish, Arai's are hand finished anyway at the factory. In terms of sun protection, I mentioned the visor is very dark and very blocking of the sun, but more so than that, this helmet, because you can ride it without a peak as a kind of touring helmet, or with a peak as an adventure helmet. With the peak in place, I find it's absolutely brilliant. It's sensational, actually, at shutting out the sunshine when it's kind of low in the sky. And I see my friends having trouble and putting their hands up to the top of their visors to block out sun sometimes and stuff, and I just don't have any problems with the Arai. And of course, if you're not squinting your eyes and being blinded by the sun, then you have a more enjoyable and relaxing ride, and you've got more attention span to look at the things that are hazardous ahead of you. In terms of crash protection, well, I have to give that a 10, because this is Arai after all, and in my humble and personal opinion, there isn't anybody on the planet that makes a helmet that's as strong as an Arai. I think back in the 80s there was something like 26 out of 27 Formula One car drivers were wearing Arai, and I think only 3 or 4 actually had a factory deal. So everybody else who could have had a sponsorship deal with other helmet manufacturers chose to just pay for an Arai themselves and not receive any sponsorship from it. And I think that says it all. I know the 80s is a long time ago now, but Arai's always only ever had one standard. It's why they don't make a modular helmet, for instance, because they feel it's a compromise of safety. They only provide the ultimate, in their eyes, standard of safety equipment. And to this day, whether it's motorcycles or car racing, at every level you're going to see Arai helmets, because many people, myself included, believe that they are simply the best. In terms of look, well, I think this helmet is just fantastic looking. I think it's the best adventure style helmet on the market by a long mile. I guess the graphics are a personal thing, but I really love this red, white and black colour scheme, and with the dark visor I think it goes superbly well. And overall I get a lot of compliments from it, from friends and strangers alike, and it's one of the few crash helmets that I don't just hang on my mirror on the bike. I actually lock it to the bike if I'm going to leave the bike alone, like if I'm in a lunch stop somewhere, for instance, because I really don't want to lose this crash helmet. So overall, I'd give it an 8.4. I think it's a very cool looking helmet. It's very functional, it's very comfortable, it's very practical, and it looks the absolute dogs, in my personal opinion. It looks the business, and they're not cheap, but quality never was. And if you're in the market for one, they are about $740 or so, and that can buy you pretty much any helmet you like in this category. But what it can't buy is this kind of level of looks, crash protection, heritage and style, in my personal opinion. So I would say if you're after an adventure style helmet, and you're not looking for a modular or anything like that, you want something that looks the part for your KTM or GS or whatever kind of adventure bike you may ride, I think you won't be disappointed if you splash the cash. Buy with confidence. Last but not least, let me say thank you. Please subscribe, please share, and last but not least, ride safely, ride often, ride on.